coming here to talk because we are Biafrans, because we are pained, because we are grieved. No. Every single complaint we the Biafrans are laying are factual. There are evidence.
Mr. Darlington.
There are evidence, numerous evidence regarding every single thing we say. It's a shame. But what are we going to do? We'll keep on watching them. We'll keep on listening. We'll keep on following on. And we will keep on calling for our freedom. There is no going back. Not today, not tomorrow. And for those who think Nigeria, even if the Peter Obi becomes the president tomorrow, it is going to be worse. Then they will that is when they will enter Biafra land. If Peter Obi entered Asorok, that is when they will have a free ride in Biafra land. Look at the drug baron. He's there. They have taken Kwara. Kwara is gone. Now they enter Oyo. And nothing is being done. Look at the innocent woman in the bush begging. In their own bush, they can't see them. But if it is in Biafra land, jet will be flying everywhere. They are looking for Liberation Army. Bunch of idiots. Let's continue to show their disgrace. We will continue to show them to the world. We will continue to show the world their madness, their idiocy, their disgrace. We will show the disgrace to the world to see. Mad people everywhere. Let's listen to this one and hear what
the lawyer and public affairs commentator. We're also joined virtually by Yakubu Ali Umaru, who is coordinator, Middle Belt Generation Next, Borno State, social and political commentator. Well, he will tell us, since he's from Borno State, and he'll tell us the state of things right now. First-hand information from Borno State. Virtually also, we're joined by Frank Egnoshu. He's an author and public affairs commentator. And right here in the studio, we also have Lawal Ekundayo, who's a social and political analyst. Gentlemen, good morning to you all. Welcome to the conversation. Let me start off with you, Mr. Darlington. And good morning. Yes, there's been the news of the killing of Bilal Al-Nuki. Now, some say, yes, there was a report of him being killed in 2024, but we've come to understand that that report might have been false. But now there's news that, yes, he's been eliminated. Does this degrade the activities of insurgents, ISIS, Islam, Boko Haram, all of them? What impact will this have, the elimination of this one individual? We understand that he's one of the top commanders, but how much impact will this have on their activities?
My fear here is that these guys are going to retaliate, and our Nigerian military may not be able to contain them. That is my fear. When such things happen, it always goes with a price. You cannot take down such a man, and his people will be looking at you. No.
So would you have preferred that we don't take him down at all?
No. The thing is that the lies behind it, Moses, the lies behind it is way too much. Remember Shekau? Shekau died 5 times. The Nigerian military was telling, we are killing the guy. In fact, we brought his prayer mat. We brought his Quran. Just make it look like childish play. That is not how the military operates. There is nothing they have told us that you and I can go to back with this military.
But does it make a difference? Does it make a difference?
In a situation like the truth is very, very vital.
Yeah.
So that the people will know where you're going and where you're coming from. That is the very important thing. You say we should give you information. Which information? When you told us that you have killed somebody, even if I see him on the road, I say, but this man, they say that you, so what is that talk? I will be quiet.
Okay.
All because of your lies. If America did not come out today, will they even go near where the man is?
Sorry, Mr. Gomo, there's a direct question Moses asked. Now that question is, you think that they are going to retaliate because Minaki has been killed?
Oh, normally.
Okay. So now the question is, would it have been better that he wasn't killed? That's the direct question.
The thing is that we should be ready. That's what I'm telling the military now. They should guide their loin. Because all those days they were killing some top commander. We saw the reaction of the ragtag followers. There is no way this man dead will go unretaliated. It's not possible. They are going to retaliate. So they should guide their law now because of what is going to follow. That is just the truth. Remember when Osama bin Laden was taken down in Pakistan? One of the reasons why they took him into a river with an iron chain or iron coffin, so that nobody will go and start doing a pilgrimage where they buried him and all that, and that will now raise some sentiment. So when things like this happen, you should take care of the things that will be fallout. There is always a fallout. That's what I'm saying here.
All right then. Oh well, let's go to Frank Hiyoshi. Frank, good morning to you. We'd like to establish communication with you, so do unmute your device so we can get your audio feed. Are we connected to Frank? Do we have Frank on the line? All right then. Well, let's bring this back to Lawal Ekundayo. Now, let me ask you, Lawal. Let me ask you the same question. How much impact will this have? The death of this one individual. We've seen in time past that a Boko Haram, an ISIS or ISIL leader is taken out, but it doesn't exactly degrade their ranks because they come on stronger. What would you expect? How would you expect government to follow through?
Thank you very much. One thing is that when you take down the heads, it's easier to handle the body. That's why they go for the head, because there's always a command from top down, and then the head is always well protected. So the moment you take him down, the others feel scattered and they feel afraid. But one thing is this: it's good as what they have done, taking the head down. But the problem we have in this country is this. See, these terrorists, there are different types in Nigeria. Okay. There are some that are working with ISIS and this one. They have the ideology. They are the global one. We have those who use it as some kind of business. So they are pockets. They are they form pockets. That's why you see a abduction here. They take them into the bush. They are paid ransom. They release them. They go back. So those are pockets of bandits like hotel around. Those who do it as a business. So in collaboration with some people in the government and then some religious leaders and whatever. Then we have the other side, in which the bandits are some kind of they are protecting mining sites for some multinational, people. So they keep them in that area so as to suppress the people and then be able to use them.
Sorry,
that's why when you take this one down, and then you go round. Okay.
I'm sorry to butt in at this moment. There's a problem we have. It's a complex situation. You say, well, it is good that they have taken down, this second in command, because when you strike the sheep, but the shepherd, more like the sheep that we have seen United States and the IDF usually defend for take out Nasrallah, the Hezbollah commander, Hamas commander, Qasim, in Iran, the IRG, Iran Republican Guard Corps commander, and all of that. They don't necessarily degrade them. So that is the question we are asking. Direct question. Do you think that taking out minority, is going to solve the problem? Because America seems to be gloating. Oh, we have killed him second in command. We thought he could hide in Africa, but he has no hiding place. How much impact would that make in the war on terror? That is the question.
Security, that's why they call it security. Security doesn't necessarily mean every time. I mean, it doesn't only mean you go after and kill somebody. Intelligence, cut across. You kill, you look for the people you kill, and the intelligence continue. Because it's like chain command. You have chain command, senior in command, second in senior in command, third in senior in command, and so why all these examples you give, the reason why you see them is because the country itself, is not taking action to do follow-up when leaders of terrorists are taking that.
So do you think, are we going to take action to do follow-up?
That is the problem we are having. That's why I keep saying that we have problems. That's why I analyze those things for you, different types. Now, Nigerian government seems not to be proactive in taking care of the security of the internal country. That's what we are seeing. When you cut, for example, let me ask you a question. Where, or I won't ask you a question. Let me just analyze this. Where are they getting weapons from? You should ask. We don't make weapons in Nigeria now, but they have weapons. This weapon is coming from international country. Now, before you bring it, you have to pass through other countries to get to that place. Now, some people are aiding them to be able to get those weapons. Now, the ones inside, many of them cannot even speak English. But they have these weapons, they can use them. They are being trained by some international terrorists. If they are not being trained, you will not see them acting like terrorists because they will not be able to use all these weapons. But some people are training them who come from outside to come into the country and train them. The weapon they are getting it internationally. Some syndicates who are aiding these terrorists are bringing it in. So what they are doing is that if you cut those ones off, then internally your own structure
Okay,
able to get them out.
we need to get other guys to have the same. But my takeaway from what you have said is that the problem of insecurity is a global thing because I mean the way that you don't kill Nasrallah and then decapitate or reduce the power of Hezbollah, excuse me, and reduce the power of Hezbollah, and if you kill the IRO, Iran Republican Guard, the commander and all of that, you have not necessarily reduced their power because of the internal problems in the country. That might take away from their position.
Sabotage.
So the problems in Nigeria, in Iran, in Hamas, Palestine, Lebanon, they are all the same in terms of managing insecurity.
All right then. Thank you very much. Let's go back. Let's go back to Frank Ayosha now. Frank, good morning to you.
Talking earlier, I heard you quite. I don't know why you couldn't hear me then.
Oh, unfortunately, we couldn't hear you then. But good to have you on the show, Frank. Now, if you have a question I asked earlier, I'd like you to react to the question and also have another to add to it. Now, what happens after military success if governance does not improve? You can merge the two.
But I can't recall the first question. Very quiet.
Okay, well, just go ahead and react to this. What happens to if what happens to after military success? What happens to governance if governance is not improved?
No, but it's I could have said the answer is in the question, but it's not too obvious. It's hidden in the sense that if governance does not improve, we are not just back to square one. We are probably back to a worse point than where we were from the outset. That is the truth. Because the superstructure that superintends over every sphere of our affairs as a nation or as a collective is government. So where that superstructure is defective, where it has frames that aren't properly put in place, whatever it is that goes on will only amount to temporary relief because the defects in the superstructure will ensure that things get worse. Just to refer to what your co-anchor affirmed just now, that seems to excuse the failure and obvious incapacity of the Nigerian government when they try to generalize, say that insecurity is a global thing, insecurity is an international thing. That is unfortunately not the case. Ghana is right here. Ghana has access to some of the countries that they say these terrorists or boats come from. How come in the past 17 years that Nigeria has been grappling with terrorism, banditry, and all whatnot? You never hear of one or such cases in Ghana. Egypt is right there. In North Africa, where Nigeria government should give us excuse that because of the strike in Libya, that is why Nigeria is being affected. As if countries that share borders that are like Libya, how come insecurity did not affect them? In Nigeria that is so far away, insecurity finds expression where
this guy has just spoken my mind. This guy has just spoken my mind. You know, I used to say it every time. They will give an excuse. Global problem. Insecurity is global problem. They will tell you, oh, terrorists come from Libya. They come. And I ask them, Nigeria is not even the next neighbor to Libya. Nigeria is not next neighbor to Libya. Egypt has a common boundary with Libya. Niger has a common boundary with Libya. Mali and North have, they are the one that have immediate common boundary with Libya. Tunisia have a common boundary with Libya. Algeria has a common boundary with Libya. Nigeria has no common boundary with Libya. Nigeria has no immediate boundary. You have to go from Niger to Mali before you get to Nigeria. So how is it that they found comfort in Nigeria? Look at Ghana. Look at Ghana. Why didn't they go to Ghana? So this guy had just spoken my mind. That's what I used to ask them every time. Global problem. Oh, they give excuse of this. The terrorists own Nigeria. Sultan of Sokoto is a terrorist. Sultan of Sokoto is a terrorist. Ottoman Danfodio brought terrorism in Nigeria, established it and built a caliphate. And this is where they are safe. If you go to the Sokoto Caliphate, you will see them there being accommodated and kept safe. But they don't want to talk. They prefer to blame international community. They prefer to blame terrorism is a global thing. Mad people everywhere. Thank you for speaking about that topic because that is what I believe.
You have spaces that are ungoverned. Nigeria is a place for insecurity because there is so much ungoverned. Why so many of places, so much ungoverned space? Because our main in Nigeria is incompetent. The primary purpose of clearly stated in our constitution. Same provision in the 1979 constitution, replicated in the same section in 1999 constitution as amended, that the primary purpose of government is the security and the welfare of the people. So, giving the excuse that security is an international thing,
I'm sorry, excuse me,
Nigerian government is civilly responsible.
Mr. Frank, I need to correct one wrong impression that you have. Yeah. I don't have an opinion on this show, and so I didn't make an excuse. My take was based on, as a matter of fact, I was asking a rhetorical question based on the take of the guest here. The guest here said, if you decapitate the leadership, you probably.
I agree with you.
Okay, I'm happy that we're on the same page now. So
yeah, I'm sorry, I was not trying to tackle. Yes, not your opinion. It was just as in an inference. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the excuse that Nigeria for so long a time. Because they tend to, under Buhari, government officials will come and say insecurity is an international problem. They put the blame on other places. I heard Buhari speak with reference to Libya as the president of Nigeria. That's why I make reference to the fact that countries in North Africa, East Africa, in those places where they say the stuff came from, they are in charge of their territory and there is no insecurity. It's Nigeria that is so far away that is now becoming the landing spot. You see, this issue right now, how come the number 2 man of ISIS in the world is not a convenient place to stay? For the number 2 man of ISIS to peacefully reside in Nigeria, does that not tell us that we're already very close to the case?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
See, let me tell you
for
something.
number 2 to reside in
Nigerian
Nigeria.
government has never been really serious with tackling insecurity in this Fourth Republic. If you look at our history of tackling insecurity from the First Republic to the Second Republic, you see where government was serious and you see the immediate. It doesn't even take long before you see the fact that government was in charge. Nigerian government has been playing some really game, which is the only time that there was a semblance of a proper fight against insecurity in this Fourth Republic, it was under Goodluck Jonathan. And Goodluck Jonathan did not take the fight serious until his office was at stake because the election was by the corner. Is it not amazing? Under Jonathan, who presented about Nigerian affairs for about 6 years, and even him, as in I was in charge, said that in his government there was Boko Haram. He said it. It's in the public domain. But they postponed the election by just 6 weeks. And in 6 weeks, they took over a fence that were in Boko Haram hands. In less than 6 weeks. So because there was a threat to his office that he may not be re-elected, those of it were threatened. Boko Haram was defeated. He employed the services of some South African mercenaries some Ukrainian mercenaries, and in 6 weeks, Boko Haram was put where they belong. I am telling you right now, Nigerian government is playing hanky-panky. They are playing games with this issue. That is why Nigeria right now seems to be the headquarters of all this crazy stuff that you are not bearing with a functional nation state.
All right, thank you very much, Frank Ahiosho. Let's bring Yakubu Ali Umaru into the conversation. Yakubu, good morning to you. We understand that you're resident in Borno State. Now, let's talk about the safe school corridor. 42 school children abducted. I mean, it's not the first. We've had multiple abduction of school children in different parts of the country. But the focus now is on Borno State. How would you say that the safe school corridor is a failure where children are not even protected in their schools? And, this continued abduction, will pupils be willing to go back to school, seeing that this has continued to happen? And how are parents taking it? Did you hear me? All right, we seem to have a network glitch there. Unfortunately, we would have loved to hear from Yakubu Ali Umaru, as he is the coordinator, Middle Belt Generation Next Borno State social and political commentator. He's right there in Borno State. But let's bring this back to the studio now. Barrister Darlington, now, does it bother you that first, this information about the death of Al-Muliki came from Donald Trump on Friday, and we hear that the attack, the operation happened, early hours of Saturday morning, and then was it Saturday? The president of Nigeria commented on the matter. Does that bother you in a way that we heard it first?
No, it doesn't, because over time, it is America that has always been telling us about some victories over the terrorists.
What does that say about intelligence, sharing?
We don't have
Should we be hearing from America as...
I said we don't have any. In fact, America does not trust us. If the Nigerian securities have been in the know of this operation, it wouldn't have happened. Somehow.
What do you mean by
Sorry?
they were in the know?
Sorry?
What do you mean by if they had been in the know?
Yes,
this was in conjunction with the military in Nigeria.
Forget that thing. They only played the second figure after the deed has been done. Because America knows...
But that's not the intelligence that we have, actually. Let's work with the information.
Who gave you the intelligence?
Trump. He said in cooperation with the Nigerian military.
The cooperation is limited now. You could have been in the background while something is going on in the front.
But at least you were there.
Look, when it comes to intelligence, I don't think we have any. If we have any, that man wouldn't have been in Borno for many years before Americans fought. What are you telling me? If we have intelligence, how come we didn't know about it? That they lied to us. They lied to us that they killed this man. There is no defense here. Why did they lie to us in the first place? It doesn't bother you. Until America did what they did and they now own up. Why they didn't own up is because they can't hide it again. It came from America.
The president spokesperson, Bayo Nanuga, said, well, this is not it's not happenstance, that it happens in all parts of the world. He cited like 2 or 3 instances where America itself thought that someone, a leader, a terrorist leader, had been killed, and it turned out to be a hoax and all of that.
These are the things that makes me, it makes me wonder. You see, this government, they like to cash in on minor issues. So all the other victories that America has been making, like Osama bin Laden and co, why didn't you talk about it? Can you just imagine? You lied to the whole country, you lied about Shekau, you are lying about, and you are trying to defend it, for God's sake. What kind of it doesn't happen in the other, and so at the end of the day, what happened to those people? Were they not taken down? No, were they not taken down? In your own case, terrorists have been under your nose here, under your nose, eating and dining with you. We are not even talking of Toby Bello. Why can't Bayo come and defend Toby Bello too? Why can't he come and defend it and tell us what he's doing here, a Nigerian? Let him come and tell us what the man is doing here with all he has done so far. This man was sent to him in this country, emissaries, to go and talk to him and beg him I want those episodes who are going back. Messiah, take some of this weapon. I don't need them. Or you go and give your government. And then take some of the kidnapped victims. Take them, this one. They are not useful to me. And they went back. Can you imagine an insult? What time do buy alone and talk about that one?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Agomo. Mr. Ekunayo, America seems to have done something big, by taking out the second in command, Minoaki. So should we praise the cooperation with the United States of America? And mind you, we also have cooperation with Britain. We have with Turkey. We have with France. One we have with China also. More like 5 collaborations, with Europe and the US and even China. So should we praise the efforts of this collaboration? Are we beginning to see something, good that is happening within the security sector? Should it give us hope that maybe with these collaborations we might just be able to fight insecurity and clear the night that has been with us in the past few years? Is there hope rising?
Yes, I think yes, we should praise the Americans because all these other people
This guy is a fool. You are a clown.
There are so many illegal Chinese miners in Nigeria.
You don't even understand the question.
You've seen so many times. You will see them jailed for illegal mining, and they will know that many of these terrorists or bandits, serve as security for all this illegal mining. So we should praise them. Out of all these people you have mentioned, which one of them has actually spoken about our problem in Nigeria, and which one of them have actually taken the decisive action to help us? China is our biggest international trade partner, and what do we get from this? So we need to praise them, and for you to take the head of IS down, that means that it is easier to get the others because the head is the most protected, and then they're able to. It's a message to Nigeria that this thing is something that can be wiped out or taken down to the minimum. That it will never be a problem in this country if we are proactive.
Okay.
Because they've taken the head. So it's easier to take down the smaller ones. Look at this abduction.
But we understand that insurgents, they have cells. So the question I asked earlier, does taking the head really, depletes their activities? Because they have cells.
Because as a matter of fact, when you take out the head, and another new leader will emerge.
They are like Hydra headed.
What I'm telling you is this. It is easier to take down the younger officers than the top head. For you to use intelligence and take out the younger, that means it's easier to wipe out that chain of command.
All right.
So what I'm saying is that if America can do this thing for us, it's easier for Nigerian government to take out the pockets.
Okay.
Because now they are in our country, they are sharing intelligence with us, they are working with Nigeria. So what else? Look at this abduction, look at this Oyo abduction. Look at the way it happens so easily in the daytime, during school hours. So easily. You want to tell me there are no military barracks?
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Agomo, before we let you go, Gumi has reacted, Sheikh Gumi. And typical of him, he says, well, America is interested in our mineral resources, and that they are not necessarily coming to help us, to fight insecurity. So how do you react to that?
Look, I would have loved to meet this man one-on-one so that we debate this thing. The way this man is supporting this terrorism, it baffles me seriously. Americans that did this thing now, even if you don't talk where he directed his people to go to, what have they done for us? Why can't the Shegumi talk sense for once? What he's saying is obvious he's supporting these people. There are no two ways about it. All his body language, all his statements, all his actions show that Shegumi is, in fact, he is in bed with the terrorists. What can he say that America is not for? Which mean that? Please, have anybody named America in any mining site or illegal mining in Nigeria? Donald Trump can never indulge in such a thing. He will tell you, face to face what you want. And if you want, you will be. When he wanted to go and settle a matter in DR Congo, he told them that yes, for my effort, this is what you are going to give me. And they agreed. So America, I can't see an American doing illegal mining in Nigeria. It can never happen. They will tell you face to face what they want because for their own help. Since you cannot help yourself. So let the police stop selling this wrong narrative. Instead of you to even talk of He's the brothers, what happened, his friends that are terrorizing Nigeria.
All right, then.
He will never talk about it.
All right, thank
As
you
for
very
that
much.
same thing you are talking about,
Yes,
what's it? The same school thing, the money for that project has been eaten. Or were you not aware that they are probing the money for that same school? Somebody ate that money. So how can he continue? When the money budgeted for same school is not being proved? Oh my God.
Thank you very much.
There are things that we don't want to say, seriously.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Darlington. We'll have to let you go now, but let's quickly run to Borno State, where we have Yakubu Ali Umaru. Well, I expect that the network will be a lot better for us to have this conversation. Now, the question I asked earlier, which is what the barrister here just reacted to, the Safe School Corridor Initiative to protect students in their schools. Would you say, how would you rate it, really, seeing that just 42 have been abducted again, 42 pupils have been abducted right after, an insurgent leader was taken out?
Hello. Can you hear me? Now, David?
Yes. Go ahead, please.
Oh, yeah, thank you for being part of this show. It was just unfortunate that this incident happened. This is the second time such an incident is happening in Borno State. It happened on the very good morning of Friday. Children went to school. Then this unknown government, as they used to say, came to abduct the students from the school. It's unfortunate that what really happened was that the incident happened before the children normally gather for their official assembly in the morning. What happened was that they went to school earlier, more especially for those ones that really don't want to stay late at home. They went to the school earlier. It was just some few minutes past 6 when the children were in the school. Then those guys came in for the abduction of the children. When they came, they did not shoot gun, or practically they actually came to abduct the children, and it was unfortunate that it was only one elderly man who was present at the school premises. The children ran to him crying, and they told the elderly man that please this place or either will shoot you to death. And it's unfortunate that among the children there are those of 3 years, 4 years.
I was just going to ask the average age of the children, but 3-year-olds. 3-year-olds.
Yes, 3 years. There are those who are 3 years, 5 years, and the abduction was even more than 42 in number. But this happens that about 100. Some of them ran away, and so the ones that...
How were they taken away? Are you privy to that information of how they were taken away? Were they taken away in buses, motorcycle, or just led into the bush?
No, they actually came with their truck, so they tried to push the children into it. The military were there, they tried to make an attempt. But, the perpetrators actually used the children as a shield, so the military...
Sorry, let's get that clear. So, sorry, when they came, you're saying that the military confronted them. Is that information you're giving us now? Were they confronted by the military?
It's actually it was on their way going with the children. That was when the military got the information. So as the military were trying to follow up, they now tried to use the children. Was how they went in with the children.
Have they reached out to the local government or the government or the families to ask for ransom? Have they reached out?
No, there any information with that for now.
Have you heard anything about the welfare of the children? Is there any information about the welfare of these children? Okay.
They really went. So up to now, there's not any relevant information for now. All the parents The whole local government is confused. Parents are still waiting. And with that, there was actually a compilation of names from the various parents who have not seen their children. And that was even confirmed that the adopted children who were taken are 42 in number.
Okay, so if I understand you clearly, the initial abduction was way more than 42, but a few of them ran away.
Yes.
And what information have you gotten from the local government in terms of the local government and the government of Borno State in terms of trying to rescue or reach out to the abductors? What are they saying?
In the morning, the local government chairman went to the community. So the community is just 20 kilometers away from the main headquarters of the local government. The local government chairman went there and actually consult with the parents and told them that the government is doing everything possible to see how they can rescue. The senator, Southern Borno, has spoken about it, that the nutrition intends their search to ensure that they rescue these children, but the state government is also doing its best, but there is no any official statement from the state government for now.
All right, Yakubu, thanks for joining us. I appreciate when your picture jumped on the screen, I was like, okay, this is supposed to be Governor Baba Gana Zulu, striking resemblance with the governor, and that's what I observed. Anyway, by the way, I'm a bit bothered because a lot of Nigerians, especially down south, have the impression that your state governor, Baba Gana Zulu, seems to be doing very well, in terms of trying to fight insecurity to the best of his abilities, and in terms of providing infrastructure for Borno State. But it looks like he's overwhelmed because at every turn, despite his efforts, Borno State is always on the news for the wrong reason. And which reason is that? What reason is that? Kidnapped, killed, insecurity. Some time ago, I was late last year, the sheriff of Borno cried out and said, Borno State has apparently been enveloped by insecurity. I want you to tell us directly, do you think that the government is doing enough, but is not getting enough support from the federal government? What seems to be the problem in Borno State regarding insecurity? Because it looks like it's the worst hit in the northeast.
Yeah, to be honest with you, the state governor is doing his very best to ensure that the security challenge is being put in place. But this is not as a single institution work. It has to be in collaboration with the federal government, international community, and whatever. But for the state governor, is doing very well. And there is no any incident that has happened that the state government has not visited the place to condole with the family. Sometimes even let's say when an intense security attack is been there, the state government will go there, spend the night with the people in the community. He has been doing that over and over again. But these are something that one cannot really explain the source or the genesis of this problem. But he's doing his best to see that all this issue of insecurity has been tackled within the state. All through his 7 years in office, he has been doing wonderfully. Job infrastructure, people's development, and all other things. He's doing his best to see that Borno State has come back. But we just hope that things will get better.
All right, we hope things will get better. That's the hope of a lot of Nigerians as well. But let me go back to Frank Ehioshu. Frank, are you still with us? Can you hear me? Well, we still have Frank on the line. Frank, yes. Now, Frank, let's talk about...
I can hear you very well.
Let's talk about financing for these terrorist groups. Record has it that between June 2024 to about July 2025, a space of 1 year, insurgents in Nigeria made about $1.67 million from abductions, kidnappings, and the rest. Ransom payment, that is $1.67 million. About that amount was taken. And of course, this is money they use in procuring arms and the rest of them. Then we still have more abductions taking place, and we know that for some of these abductions, government, well, some would say government pays ransom to these individuals to ensure that the abductees are not harmed. And you also heard the testimony of Yakubu Umaru there. The military confronted the abductors, but unfortunately, they used the children. Check out their ages: 5 years, 3 years. And of course, they used the children as a shield to get away. What would you want government to do differently? And how do you react to all of this?
If I talk about this story, I feel so ashamed for my people. So damn ashamed. Even the narrative put forward by the guy in Borno State concerning the soldiers' excuse. I would imagine that the world at large is watching this discourse and hear this info in a functional country. God, man.
What would you have expected? Would you have expected confrontation at that time, saying that the children were, used as a shield? Would you have expected head-on confrontation?
Who is talking about head-on confrontation? A truck is driving without being a security expert, without even any modicum of critical thinking. I can put not one, not two, not three initiatives that should be followed up. You don't confront them. Are they not taking a road? What does it take to ensure that you create blockades across your way? You need to use some stuff to barricade the road. If the road is barricaded and the truck cannot drive, they carry the keys on them and be running. You initiate into great state. Why? That God can. Listen to these things, and you say that what government gives excuse over this country. Our children in primary schools and secondary schools will resolve these issues without too much without resort to critical thinking. But it's just a show of shame. That is the truth. That estimate given in terms of the money these guys have gotten in the past 2 years, I can tell you without party and lying that it is extremely underestimated. If the estimate you are giving as what they possibly got in a month or two, say maybe with $1 million. If I want to something billion naira, when we know that in some cases, just in 2 or 3 kidnap cases, it's up to $1 billion. Then they now say that in 2 years, that estimate is unnecessarily conservative. It is extremely underestimated from the little access to make. Just even printed in the media. You know that I can tell you free of charge. So many of the kidnapping cases that take place don't get to the media front. It has become so normal that most of them are not reported. I know so many cases of kidnap, not 5, not 10, not 20, that never made it even to real social media hype, and much less the print or electronic media. So that estimate is extremely behind the approximate money they could have made within that time frame. That is the truth.
Well, thank you very much, Frank.
Going back to, just to make a point on the issue of if the head is it to get the subordinates, the members. You see, Nigerian government deals with this issue the way they deal with government on seriously. These guys are far more disciplined than Nigerian government. I can even tell you, without disrespecting military, that they are more disciplined than the Nigerian army. Nigerian army is not. I'm not saying that they're indisciplined. They're already impacted by the culture of indiscipline that the government has made a culture. The guys are driven ideological. So if you like to kill hundreds of them, without having a major, as a train that is moving, that keeps them in check and deals with them with some dead blow, nothing will happen. Let me give you an instance. During the time of Shakarao, when Boko Haram ambushed and killed about 20 or so Chadian soldiers, for the first time, I was wondering, how come it doesn't happen with Nigeria? Boko Haram was begging the late Chadian president not to come and attack them. Boko Haram were afraid and waiting to go. But in Nigeria, they kill our soldiers, they kill our people as if nothing is happening. You know, in fact, after killing them, they post about it. See that the great parties are talking about in the studio just now. We read the papers. That a traffic transport business. We place big, you know, for. Yeah. Because they're showing ego. This when you do the massive is very but they don't have the audacity to deal with people that make a mess of the country.
All right, then, thank you very much, Frank Hirsch. Gentlemen, let's move on to another conversation now. We're talking about politics, and let's bring it down to